There's more good news is because I thought you and I were going to have some major egg on our face. And we would have to backtrack because even before the end of last show, we were a little nervous because Donald Trump on Monday was supposed to make this big grand announcement that was going to clear him of all charges. And for some strange reason, that didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So
the attorney said, "You're not going to be talking."
That's exactly what it is. And I'm thinking too that his attorneys may even said, "You're not going to that debate." I'm not sure whether or not Trump wanted to go or he didn't want to go, but I think maybe advice from counsel probably.
Right. I think it's safe to say he doesn't want to share stage with Chris Christie. I'm going to squat on one with that. If Chris Christie was not on that debate stage, he may have won it. The chances would have been greater.
You know what, Lana, though? You know what I'd say? He's so crazy enough. I don't think he cares who's on that stage. I really don't. I don't think he's afraid of Chris Christie. Yeah. I mean, Chris Christie would have done for us. That would have been great. I don't think he's afraid of anybody. I really don't.
See, I beg to differ because he doesn't like to appear weak. Chris Christie can go back and forth with him, like jab him. He's accustomed to throwing a jab at someone, the audience like clapping, and that's the end. Like, and he goes on to the next. Chris Christie's a prosecutor. He can't do that. He knows how to hit Trump, and Trump looking weak and like he got hit by somebody. I don't.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, this kind of like, and this is why, when you and I just start talking, this is going to be like the second or third thing I was going to talk about. But now since we're talking about it in the debate, there's something I was listening to. You ever listen to Pod Save America, that podcast?
I haven't listened, but I've heard great things.
It's excellent. I mean, I enjoy it. It's guys that used to work in the Obama administration and they know the insides and outs of a lot of politics and everything. So it's really good. They were talking, they were replaying a clip, which I'm going to play here in a second.
Nice.
It reminded me, Donald Trump in the debates in 2016, he had a moment against Jeb Bush that really, as much as I can't stand Donald Trump, was really a pretty amazing way how he handled this whole situation. And it kind of, I think, really started sparking people going, I like this guy a lot. So I'm going to play this. This is the 2016 Donald Trump.
Trump was use eminent domain to try to take the property of an elderly woman on the Strip in Atlantic City. That is not public purpose. That is downright wrong. And here's the problem with that. The problem was it was to tear down. It was to
Jeb
tear
wants
down.
to be. He wants to be a tough guy. He wants to be a tough guy tonight.
It was to tear down
I didn't
the
take
house,
the property.
and the net result was you tried.
I didn't take the property. The woman ultimately didn't want to do that.
That is not true. And the simple fact is, to turn this in.
I want to point out real quick. Look how pathetic Marco Rubio looks.
I know. I was just thinking that. Not only does he look like a kid, he looks uncomfortable and afraid.
He was both.
To a limousine parking lot for his casinos is not a public use. And in Florida, based on what we did, we made that impossible. It is part of our Constitution. That's the better approach. That is the conservative approach.
Mr. Trump, take 30 seconds. Let me just, he wants to be a tough guy. A lot of times you'll have, and it doesn't work very well with
How tough is it to take property from an elderly woman?
Let me talk. Quiet.
How tough is it?
A lot of times.
This part here.
That's all of his donors and special interests out there. So that's what it is. That's what. And by the way, let me just tell you, we needed tickets. You can't get them. You know who has the tickets for the? I'm talking about to the television audience. Donors, special interests, the people that are putting up the money. So it is. The RNC told us we have all donors in the audience, and the reason they're not loving me, the reason they're not loving me is I don't want their money. I'm going to do the right thing for the American public. I don't want their money. I don't need their money. And I'm the only one up here that can say that. Eminent domain.
They go on a little bit more, but that is a great debate moment for Donald Trump. It basically dismissing the special donors and saying he's going to do, I don't need your money. And, you know, it was just the total control that he had on stage. And I think
Chris, there's no way. Chris Christie's from New Jersey, New York.
So am I.
He's talking about Jeb.
Yeah.
Like anybody, Jeb looks like he's a rug. Like he's not doing that with Chris Christie. Like Chris Christie knows the stuff. Like he can really get into all of Trump's background and dirty dealings. Like I don't.
And that's the reason why I played that clip first, because to your point, I think there's two reasons why he's not doing the debate. I think, you know, and part of what I'm going to say is to your point. The first one is that 2016 Donald Trump is not the same guy today.
True.
He's tired. He looks weak. He sounds weak when he talks.
Yeah.
It's just not the same guy.
Yeah.
And the second one, to your point, is back then that shocked everybody up on that stage. They had no idea how to handle that. None. And to your point, Chris Christie 100% would know how to handle it. Yeah. Whether or not Donald Trump is scared of Chris Christie, I don't know. But maybe he doesn't have the fight. Maybe he just is kind of like, I'm up by so much. And he has a point. He's up by so much. Why would you? But
right. But no, you're right. He doesn't have the fight. Chris would knock him out. I mean, there's so much stuff there to just get him with. I mean, the man was accused of rape. Like, there's just a lot.
Yeah. Well, he was actually convicted. But found liable. Yeah. So without Donald Trump tomorrow night, it's obviously not going to be as wacky and crazy and wild. Probably, I know everybody's like, damn, we want to see that nut ball. We got one last time to see him before he goes to jail.
What am I paying for cable for if I can't see a circus?
Damn it. No, exactly. With that said, and without Donald Trump, do you expect anything from the debate? Do you expect any winners, any losers from the whole thing? You expect a lot of losers.
I know we're going to segue into something that I just cannot wait to talk about, but I don't know. Is Tim Scott going to talk about how women are pregnant for 52 weeks? Is